Good morning. Today we reach the month of October, and there's a lot of September and October are the months of the harvest. And how appropriate, I didn't plan this, Spirit planned this for me. I didn't do anything. How appropriate, I'm realizing now as I'm speaking about it, that we're dealing with wealth, right? But today we're dealing with wealth in the broad sense of the word. What does wealth actually mean to us, right? Because wealth is not only about money. Wealth is also about abundance of anything, right? Of health, of love, of friendships, of good times, of feeling loved, having the opportunity to be loving, having an abundance of food, of healthy food, right? What's been interesting, and I think this goes for the most of the world, is that it is so much more expensive to eat real food than to eat chemicals and junk, right? Because plastic is cheaper, apparently. Resins from oil, which are the whatever's left off from creating gas, they're going to throw it out, so might as well find a use for them, right? So Cheetos, for example, because people had some Cheetos the other day along with my mom. That's her little, I call it her little poison she drinks there. She eats every day, which she gets her vodka with her Coke Zero, which is zero sugar, but a million chemicals, and her Cheetos. And I was reading the ingredients because I used to eat Cheetos when I was little. And the other day I'm like, oh my God, they look so good. And I tried them and they actually tasted really good to me. And then I turned the bag over and immediately felt a repulsion to it. Because first of all, the only reason they taste good is because they're filled up with MSG, which is monosodium glutamate, which is what they use in Chinese food so that it enhances flavors and things taste better. And it tricks the brain into thinking that it tastes really good. But it also had Red 40, which is made out of bugs, if you didn't know that. And it's highly allergenic. And it had oleoresins, resins from oils. And I was horrified. And I know that so many children are eating these things. And then we wonder why they have depression, why they have bipolar, why they have suicidal tendencies, why they get addicted to drugs. In Mexico, they smell glue a lot because it's cheap and it gives them a high. And they fry their brain. And so it was such an awakening of and such a reminder of how much I get upset about these things, actually. So how many times have we opted for the fast, the easy, the cheaper option instead of the healthy, the more nourishing, but however more expensive thing? When I got divorced and I had very little to close to no money, and it's so interesting. I was hearing, and I'm sorry to go on a tangent on this, but I was hearing Leah Steele yesterday in a podcast, and she was saying, I hate that people feel like they have to have a rags to riches in order to have the riches. And so I've always been like, oh my God, that's terrible. It was just a blip in my life. I didn't really come from a rags to riches story, except for when I got divorced, my ex left with everything, left me with nothing. So we can consider that a rags to riches, whatever, but it's not the point, right? So you don't have to go through that experience. In order to have abundance. You don't have to feel guilty of having if you have not had a tragic story. Because a lot of people feel like, well, I haven't just earned the right because I haven't gone through all this pain. And it's like, we don't have to. So that aside, when I got divorced and I had very, very little money, I made a choice to always have amazing food in my house, regardless if it was this much or this much. So I chose the right foods as opposed to the cheap foods. And I realized it was better to have one good meal than 3 lousy ones. Okay. So sometimes we have to make these choices that seem really challenging at the time, because it's like, oh my God, the fridge is going to look empty. Well, how many times do you empty your fridge and throw out so much food? And I decided I was going to have enough to eat, but not to throw out. And that shifted my thinking. And so if I went to the store and I saw something that I really, really, really wanted, first of all, the first time I went, I would just go crazy with all these things. I had this market that's called Fairway, and it has all these international foods, and you can just go crazy there and buy up a storm. So the first time I'd go, if I felt like having something, I would take note of it, mental note, and I'd go home. And if 3 days later I was still thinking about it and still desired it, next time I went back, I actually got it. And then I planned, okay, well, if I'm getting this, what could go with this that I could create something delicious? And if I have guests come over, like I don't even like tea. And I bought all these beautiful teas. I found this pochon, ginger and lemon tea that I love to serve because it was so delicious. Even I liked it. But I had to go downtown New York City, go up the stairs to the 3rd floor, and found a distributor of Fauchon and get the tea there. That was super expensive. But I figured I'm going to have this tea that's super expensive and just have this one tea. But it'll create a memory with whomever comes to my house. They'll remember this because this tea is so phenomenal. It will create an imprint in them. And we create memories from everything. They get stored in our mind and in our hearts. Right? So the sense of smell is so powerful, and the sense of taste. Don't you think of your grandmother and smell her cooking or whatever it was that she would make? Like I remember my grandma and I remember her scent, or I remember the things that she made, and it's all by the scent, right? Or I remember this person where I would go to her house, there were always cookies baking. And you remember these things by the scent, right? I remember my great grandfather, and I think the last time I saw him, I was around 6 years old. But I would go to his house in Merida. I would go on holidays during the summer. And every afternoon, he ate this fruit called chirimoya, which is almost like sour sop, but it has not a very good taste. And the smell was very strong and pungent. He loved it. I never liked it. But I think of my great grandfather, and that smell fills me up. I just smell that chirimoya in my being, because I would remember that every afternoon. And that smell was so potent that it just permeated my awareness. And whether I want to remember it or not, I do. It's not a choice, right? It's there. So where can we make, and so this conversation all actually has a point. So when we're dealing with wealth, right? We always are desiring the wealth, but we don't act wealthy sometimes, right? So something of being wealthy that you can do is make these choices. It's like, what are you going to serve at home that's just going to make you feel wealthy when you sit down and eat it? Get a beautiful tablecloth. Get a set of plates, even if it's one set for yourself of beautiful plates, or even if you buy them at Home Goods. But every time you place them on your table, you're going to feel rich, exuberant, abundant, right? Make sure, for example, I only use white plates. I've tried using plates of different colors, and I realized that the way that I love my food is when it's on a white surface. So what if it's blue for you? What if it's green? Where do you feel that your food is placed and you'll just be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Could they be black plates? Could they be orange? I mean, what, or would you want to just stick to white like me? Right? But I serve my plates and I put my salad dish and I serve my glass, and sometimes I use wine glasses for my water. And so another way of feeling wealthy is going to the top hotel in your town, going mid-afternoon and having a drink or a tea, right? If you don't drink, you can have a tea. Sometimes like the Plaza serves English tea at 5, starting at 5. And you'll have the tea and the mimosas and the little cucumber cream cheese sandwiches, which I don't know why they became so English, because in England they don't really eat those, but whatever. So you eat your little sandwiches, your little tea, and you're in this environment that just wealth permeates. So just like our river of wealth, if you place yourself in an environment of wealth, right, you will be attracting it to yourself, right? This shirt, for example, I love this shirt. It is an Anne Fontaine shirt. And when I was married, I used to buy a lot of Anne Fontaine, but then when I got divorced, it was never again in my budget. And then recently I was like, I still have some Anne Fontaine pieces from years ago. But, you know, after years of wearing the same pieces, you're like, okay, I think I need a new piece. And I wanted a white shirt. So I went literally to the outlets in New York where they have an Anne Fontaine store. So instead of paying like $300 or $350 for this shirt, I don't know, there's like $350. It's a t-shirt, okay? It's nothing major. I think I paid $200 for it, but still $200 for a shirt, right? But it's not $350. So I figured it was like my gift, and I made this the special thing, and I gave this to myself. And it's this piece that every time I wear it, I feel wealthy. So what pieces of clothing, and it doesn't have to be an Anne Fontaine shirt or a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton. It can be something that you buy at Marshall's, and it's just like a discounted thing, but when you put it on, it just feels so good, or it's so soft and cozy, and you just put this robe on and you just feel like $1 million. That is what we're trying to get to, this feeling of warmth, of a satisfaction, of joy, of gratitude, of I am taken care of, right? So as a homework, I would like you to just go to a fancy store and just walk around. If you like diamonds, go to a diamond shop and try on rings, try on a bracelet, try on some earrings. Do something that, even if they're $10,000 and you know you're not going to get them, put them on, see how they feel. Feel how it feels to have something of that value. Do you recoil? Do you go, oh my God, I could never wear this, I would lose it, do you go into fear? Or do you feel like, oh yeah, I can really resonate with this? And if you go into fear, keep going places until you get so used to it that it's going to become such a natural thing. Because if you're recoiling from it, there's something in you that's pushing it away. Okay. The other thing that I think I've told you, and it's part of my money program, but it's start carrying cash in your wallet. I know cash is out these days. It's not fashion, because if you have cash, they can't control you. But that's another story, Jerry. So carry cash. I walk around with $1,000 in my wallet. I don't spend them. But if I need to, or if I have to tap into that source, I will. And then I will just replace it. But I know that I'm taken care of by myself. I made this choice. And I know where that money came from. There's always more. So go ahead and place yourself in your river of wealth. And just feel all those beautiful things that are surrounding you that make you feel wealthy. Paying off your credit cards can make you feel wealthy. Having an afternoon with your family baking can make you feel wealthy. Doing crafts, playing around, playing ball, spending an evening with friends and sharing. Whatever it is that makes you feel wealthy, your favorite robe. These days we don't even get dressed much because of this stupid thing. So think of that piece of clothing that when you wore it, it used to be like, ah, it feels so good. I'm hot, I'm abundant, I'm wealthy. I feel good inside. Place yourself in your river of wealth and have this wealth. Feel whatever you'd like, amazing food, diamonds, trips, private jets blowing at you, sticking to you like glue. Open your arms wide. Receive everything that's been set for you, that is waiting on the sidelines for you to receive without attachment. Start toning as you receive and you feel the well. As in finally you're here. We're connecting. And now you're here to stay. No feast or famine anymore. Just wealth all around. Connect to your heart center and feel the gratitude. Connect to your root chakra and feel the grounding. Feel it activated in alignment with the rest of the chakras, creating an internal white light as all the chakras vibrate and gyrate in harmony as a cosmic piece of music from the ethers. That is your body. A cosmic symphony. Allow yourself to be imbued in the music. Feeling your cells activated, every molecule sparkling with diamond dust. Smile on your face. Pull in your energy, your energetic bodies, your etheric body. Make them compact. Feel yourself powerful, strong, and grounded. Feel your spine aligning, stretching if you're sitting in a hunched position. And place yourself in a bubble of protection. With the color of your choosing. Carry yourself today with this energy. Feeling wealthy, feeling prosperous, feeling abundant. Have a wonderful day. And I will send a message about tomorrow to see what time works. If you can all, let me stop this recording.